Final launch information for the 3DS came out yesterday at the event they held in New York City, simultaneously with one they held in Europe for the European launch information. And I have to say, I'm extremely pleased. A lot of people were expecting the price to be $300, and it's a mistake people make every time a new system comes out, especially from Nintendo. They keep converting the price from yen directly into US dollars and assume that's going to be the US price. And it always ends up being that it's less expensive in the US than it is in Japan, relatively. So it could have been possible that it was $300. So I'm very pleased with the $250 price point. And there's been a lot of bad press about the battery life. My personal situation, I don't even play 3 hours a day on the go on my DS Lite when I'm playing it out there. I don't put that much time on it when I'm out because I don't have any really long commutes or anything. So that's not going to be too much of a problem for me. And putting it in its cradle every night, that's not going to be an issue for me. So I'm pleased with the battery life considering all the battery intensive stuff it's going to be doing. And I know Nintendo's engineers probably shed tears over just having the battery life as low as it is, even with 3 or 4 hours with the 3D on and maybe the brightness on really high, because I know Nintendo will sacrifice anything to have really low battery life in their systems. Like almost every system up until the 3DS has sacrificed performance in some way or another to have better battery life. So I'm pretty satisfied with the battery life, all things considered. Very pleased with the wireless, just one friend code this time, not a different friend code for each individual game. It's going to be tied to the system, and you're going to be able to exchange your contact information wirelessly when you're in local wireless mode with your friends, so you don't have to exchange a friend code if you're connecting wirelessly locally, and then from there you'll be able to connect through Nintendo Wi-Fi connection when you're at distance from each other. So really everything they've done with online in terms of the Street Pass and one friend code and being able to see your friends and what they're playing in real time without having to before, with the old Nintendo DS, you basically had to directly prearrange meeting online with your friends, be it through a forum or through AIM or call your friend and say, hey, let's go online. This time, there's none of that. It's very unlikely you're just going to randomly go online and just see that your friends are there the way the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection was set up with the original Nintendo DS. So really, even though it's still using a friend code, I think the way Nintendo's implementing it this time solves about 80 to 90% of the complaints that gamers had with the system. And keep in mind, Nintendo really didn't have to do this. Well, they had to. Ultimately, they had to, but relatively speaking, Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, as it existed with all the flaws with the friend code system and all the complaints from hardcore gamers, it was hugely successful. They had a huge adoption rate for Nintendo Wi-Fi connection as it was. So Nintendo could have had it in their head that they didn't have to change or improve anything. So I'm glad that they finally stepped back and looked at it and how they could improve it with the new hardware. The launch lineup, they didn't say specifically what games would be there on launch day. They just sort of had a launch window period of what was coming out from the 27th. Yeah, stupid phone. What would be coming out from the March 27th up into E3 in early June, I think E3 is going to be. So they have the launch window. They did. Apparently Ocarina of Time 3D and Kid Icarus Uprising, surprisingly to me, well, not surprising after seeing the Japanese lineup, I thought at least one of those, either Star Fox or either Star Fox 3D or Ocarina of Time 3D and or Kid Icarus would be there on launch day, so that was kind of surprising that those weren't there. But really, what I would like to have on launch day is Pilotwings, out of what Nintendo's offering. Pilotwings, the new Pilotwings Resort, that I would really love to have on launch day. That would be a great, way to experience the 3D for the first time. And Rayman 3D, they're making Rabbids 3D, which is going to be, I guess, a Raving Rabbids minigame collection. And they're also, Ubisoft's making Rayman 3D, which is apparently going to be another port of Rayman 2, The Great Escape. And Actually, the original Nintendo DS launched with a port of Rayman DS in the launch window of, that was also, Rayman DS was a port of Rayman 64 on Nintendo 64. When Rayman 2 is also ported to about every console, like the Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, N64, Dreamcast, almost every system has had a Rayman 2 port of some kind or another. And if they improve the graphics and make it in full 3D, I haven't played this Rayman 2 since it first came out, so I wouldn't mind playing it again. My dream lineup on launch day for me personally would be Rayman 3D and Pilotwings Resort. Now, around E3, there was also official talk, not just rumors, of Rayman Origins, which is going to be a completely new side-scrolling Rayman platformer coming to the 3DS, and for a while we thought that Rayman 3D might have been that, but apparently Rayman Origins, I haven't heard any talk of it being on the 3DS since E3. I really hope it is. That would be a great game to have on the 3DS. So ultimately, I'm very pleased with the news. I'm pleased with the price point. The launch is going to come fairly soon. Surprisingly, a couple of days later than Europe. It's funny. The United States, I guess North America, all of North America, maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, the US got the Nintendo DS and they got the Wii before Japan or Europe, and this time we're going to be getting the 3DS after both Japan and Europe, so it's sort of interesting how that flipped around on us. And a lot of people already forgot that we got both the Wii and the DS, and the original DS before Japan, because people were saying, like, when the 3DS was announced to be launching in Japan first, so of course, you know, Nintendo system always come out in Japan first. Actually, both the original DS and the Wii both came out in the United States first. Reggie in the meeting called it the Virtual Console, but he only specifically announced the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games to be out for the Virtual Console for the 3DS. And the interface for I have never actually touched a DSi, so I don't know how the interface is for the shop system there, but it looks a lot cooler now. How you could browse through different categories. It looks a lot more user-friendly, a lot more streamlined, a lot cooler, a lot more exciting than what the screenshots I've seen of the DSi system. But they only specifically mentioned Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. No, okay, there's no reason that the 3DS is technically capable, as far as I don't see any reason why it can't emulate every system that's emulated on the Wii's Virtual Console. I know there may be some licensing issues, like they made a deal specific to the Wii for a certain console or for a certain game, and that they would have to work out a new contract to have it on the 3DS Virtual Console, but there's no reason why there shouldn't be N64 games. Well, I can imagine N64 games, like if they want to have N64 games but not have the games they're remaking in 3D to protect the sales of the 3D version, like they don't want to have Ocarina of Time or Star Fox on there, but they should be NES, Super NES, N64, Genesis, TurboGrafx, all those games should be on the 3DS Virtual Console. Having all those games, that whole library of games that are on the Wii Virtual Console, that's their killer app against the iPhone and the iPad and the iPod Touch. That I could see being the deciding factor as to whether somebody's going to be doing all their gaming on a Nintendo system or on their iPod Touch. Not that I think even if someone does decide to buy an iPod, like an iPhone or an iPod, in addition to a 3DS, I think it's going to really keep them playing on the Nintendo system and spending their money on the Nintendo's system's downloads rather than iPhone application games. So Nintendo really needs to get on expanding their horizons for what is possible on their Virtual Console. And I definitely don't, if they don't really pursue having those console emulated games on their system, I don't want it to be just because, oh, they have the console games only on the Wii and the portable games only on the 3DS. That's a really silly, arbitrary reason not to pursue having those emulated games on their portable. They really need to, if that's holding them back, they really need to get over that and go all out with their downloadable content, considering how much stuff they're already sitting on, in addition to what they could be developing, you know, the original content. So that's my take on the 3DS news up until launch, and thank you very much for watching.